and it's my pleasure and honor to introduce Representative Attica Scott, member of the House of Representatives since 2017, representing this district, District 41. Before that, she was a member of the Metro Council, 2011-2014, currently running to replace Congressman John Yarmouth in Kentucky's 3rd Congressional District. Thank you so much for being here, Representative Scott.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and I would have been there with you in person, but we literally just got called into a special session beginning today, and so I'm not able to be with you in person, but I did want to share with you that as a member of the House's Natural Resources and Energy Committee, as a longtime resident of the West End of Louisville, where there are 19 chemical companies along the Rubbertown corridor from the southwest end of the city to the west end of the city, I stand for environmental justice, for climate action, to hold chemical companies accountable, including the fossil fuel industry, which has lied to us for decades about the harms that their toxic emissions were creating, and they must be held to account for the damage they've done to our environment and our health. So thank you so much again for the invitation to be with you this morning. And if there are particular questions that you want to ask me, I'm happy to respond to them. But I also know that you all are going to be speaking this morning about the Metropolitan Super District and their attempts to revise the consent decree that currently exists in Louisville Metro government. And we know that that is a big infrastructure fight that we're going to have to take on to maintain accountability with MSD, and that we have to make sure that we as taxpayers are not having to foot the bill for sewer repairs when we know that oil and gas infrastructure gets incentives from every level of government. And so we tend to carry a stronger burden when it relates to our ability to drink clean water, to bathe in clean water, to make sure that our health and safety is taken care of. So I'm with you in your fight. Stand strong. We all drink downstream, and we know it. And I'm doing my part here in the state capitol to stand up for all of us across Kentucky.
Well, people are starting to arrive here on the site. We've got Wave 3 News and some more of our speakers and attendees are starting to turn up. And we really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us. And just, is there anything else you can share, as far as the picture from Frankfurt of, what's working and what's not working as we all fight to have investment in water rather than, investment in petrochemicals, and then, people and government kind of giving free cleanup services, free fire department. We just saw the fire in Russell, and, lightning strike is an act of God, but having a warehouse full of paint thinner in a residential neighborhood is all man. And here goes Louisville. It's like our job to put the fire out, and the brave firefighters have to face that. They're working for the public, but they're doing the work of private industry. And so, can you just talk a little bit about what's working in Frankfurt and Louisville, and where we might put our efforts if we really want to put our shoulder to the wheel and get something to change? Where do you see leverage points?
Definitely. So I'll tell you what's working is when the people rise up and rise up together as a collective entity to hold elected officials accountable. That's what's working. Anytime there has been an effort to push back against harmful policies here in the state capitol as it relates to environmental issues, climate issues, it's been because the people have risen up together. So that works. That works here in Frankfurt. Unfortunately, I serve with a number of colleagues who don't come from places like where I come from, where we're trying to deal with environmental justice issues every single day, including environmental racism. And so some folks are very comfortable, and they're going to be fine, or think they're going to be fine no matter what. So it's difficult for them to be able to relate to us. What's not working is the fact that we have far too many people in elected office who are beholden to industry, who are beholden to business, rather than beholden to the people whose health and safety is being compromised, whether it's fires in Russell, as you mentioned, and putting our public servants at risk, or whether it's, as we've already been talking about, holding MSD accountable for the consent decree that we have that already exists. It's not working from the local and state, and quite frankly, the federal perspective. It's important, yes, that we fund issues that need to be funded and addressed. It's also important that we hold these companies accountable so we as the taxpayers aren't continuing to carry the financial burden of their lies, of their mistakes, of their accidents. But I also say what's working is when legislators like me who are from urban areas and legislators like my colleague, State Representative Angie Haddon, who are from rural areas, come together to have each other's back. Because I've stood with her as she has spoken up about Martin County, Kentucky needing clean bathing and drinking water, and being one of the few urban legislators to stand with her. And she stood with me in that same similar call to action for the west end of Louisville, where I live, and the southwest end, to say that we have to make sure, no matter where we are in Kentucky, that we are standing together to make sure we take care of the people that we are elected to serve.